Okay. This is an interesting subject. Knots are changing. Everyone's like, hey, we just barely understand those now. There is going to be a change in 2012. The knots that you see up in the now section that we're all used to seeing, Cub Scout, Den Leader, Tiger, Weeble, and such, they're going away. They are going to be replaced by the Boy Scout, well, there's still a Cub Scout version, he's still here. The Den Leader Award knot will be for all three of these guys. But these are the two that have been around for a while. They're pretty much more...
Are those two backwards? Den Leader and Cub Scout?
Nope. Cub Scout are yellow and yellow. But the other two green ones have been typically a Boy Scout or a district or a commissioner type of award. They're now all put together. And first question will probably be, okay, this seems more complicated than it has to be. Why are we doing this? I don't know the answer to why. I'm assuming it's relatively moving towards a more simplistic uniform, probably less supplies. I'm sure their money has something to do with it in there somewhere. How will we tell the difference between the different knots? If you notice on my uniform here, I have a couple knots that have very, very small devices on them. See, like for instance, this green one here. This green one is the Scouters Training Award, the middle one. And I have a commissioner and a Boy Scout emblem on it. Each, like for instance, the Den Leader Award, there will be a new emblem for Tiger, a new emblem for Weeble that you will put on the knot to show that that was what was earned for. Same thing for the Cub Scout Award and the Pack Trainer Award. They will have a Cub Scout emblem that will go on the Scouters Training Award. And the Scouters Key, the Cub Master will have a Cub Scout sign to go on it too, because that could also be for Boy Scouts or such. It's not a big deal, just want to let everybody know that it's coming. They're going to revamp the requirements for each one of these knots as well in 2012. No deadline as far as when that will show up, but I'm sure they'll change it a little bit. But I'm sure it'll still be tenure, training, and some type of metric, you know, as far as, performance metric, like they always have been. They just may change a little bit of the rules of time. So, now, January 1, 2012, will we be switching over? No. The old knots will still be available as long as they're in the Scout shop. Once they're sold out, the transition is complete. So, it doesn't mean anything. Obviously, if you already have some of these on your uniform, do they have to come off and be replaced? No. It's just that going forward, once these patches have been sold out, we'll be moving to the new ones at the bottom. Nothing more to it. But don't forget, even if they're changing, it's all about the same thing. It's about recognizing your leaders. Hopefully you have at least one person in your pack who is responsible for recognizing what your leaders are doing, keeping track of their training, keeping track of their participation, making sure your units are, earning their quality, journey to excellence, and they are getting the National Summertime Award and these kind of things. These are important coming to, powwows, University Scouting, Roundtable. Coming to Roundtable. Keep track of it, because this is a way that you can provide an award in front of your pack to say thank you. It's a very small piece of cloth, but you know what? It's about the thank you. And it's also teaching the boys that it's important to remember to thank people for when they do things for you. It's about the same thing as what my mom tried to beat in my head when I was a kid, that you need to send a thank you note every time you get a present. And as a kid I thought, this is the most horrible thing ever. I have to write a card. And I almost made getting the present bad. But then I thought, well, that's really horrible. Someone took the time to give me something. I should take the time to say thank you. That's exactly what this is. Teach the boys that it's important to say that. Hard lessons I've done to boys. Parking lot still in the back there. Please, anything you need, question, something, information, comments, start, stop, continues, anything like that, please put them on a card and let us know. Feedback is a gift. Positive, negative. It's all a gift. For those of you who don't know, start, stop, continues. You should probably try to use these also in your units. You sit down after an event or something like that with your leaders and say, okay, what did we do well? What should we start doing now to improve our program? What have we been doing that we should stop that is inhibiting our program or making it less powerful? And then what should we continue? By taking a moment to come up with the ideas and put those on paper, it's called continuous planning and improving your program. I want the same things about Roundtable. A start, a stop, a continue. If you have one of each, great. If you have just one, great. If they're all stops, that's still great. I need to know, because you guys are the ones, the reason we do Roundtable. Upcoming dates, not a whole lot of scouting district stuff through the rest of the year. Obviously, the rest of the year's only 2 weeks more. Roundtable's January 11th. 15th, celebrating the Eagle class of 2011. It may be too, is it, Mike, is it too late for anyone that wants to go to the, recognizing the Eagle class on December 15th?
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think we could, if you have a want to do it, speak to me,
Okay.
and we can talk about that.
Okay. It is an activity to where the Eagle Scouts of this district and also Powhatan, right?
Yes.
Are coming together to start to talk about their projects, what they've done, their impact, their legacy. It's going to be a really good event. Obviously, it's tomorrow, it's last minute, but if there's anyone with an interest, it's still available. All right. So, leadership. When you were a kid in school, we went to math class, and you thought, I'll never, ever use this in life. Right? Just like the same thing about English, science, and everything except for probably PE. I thought PE, I'll be using PE in life, because I'm going to be out there kicking the ball. Oh, what the heck, I thought I was going to do it for a living, but I was going to be kicking the ball. Think about math this way as far as leadership goes. As a leader, let's say you have 4 other people that you have in your pack that are leaders, tan shirts, and they impact boys. I have 2 ways I can work with that. I can provide them every activity of what I need them to do. I say I need you to do this, this, and this, and this. And I have them doing that, and they're impacting the boys or whoever they're interacting with in an additive way. I have basically, each one adds 1 to what we can do. If I take the time to train boys and other adults to be leaders, to think for themselves and provide the necessary tools, the edge tool and such to become leaders, I've just multiplied it. Because then they'll go and they'll have people who are working, that are working towards the same goals for them. Instead of it being additive, it's multiplicative. Strive to teach your boys to be leaders. They're Cub Scouts right now, they're little boys, but you know what? There are chances for them to be leaders even as Cub Scouts, and they will continue to grow as Boy Scouts. When you go to a Boy Scout troop and the boys are running the entire thing, it may be chaos, but they're showing leadership. I went and did a Friends of Scouting last night, and the boys ran everything, from the very beginning to handing out the awards, everything. And I had a great time, and the boys did an amazing job. You could tell that they had been given plenty of opportunities to step forward and be leaders, not just drones that were following instructions. It was great. Take the time to bring in your parents, equip them to be leaders. Give them the opportunity to excel. Give them these opportunities, just like we have been given opportunities by other leaders. We still have, obviously we have a Facebook site. What I do is I try to put the slides, a link to the slides from my Dropbox on the Facebook site within about a day or 2. So they're available. Obviously, if you're not on Facebook, you still want the slides, just send me an email or put something in the parking lot. I'll be happy to send them to you, no problem. We have a Goose Creek one. We also have a Goose Creek Cub Scout Roundtable one. Post something. I seem to be the one posting things. Post something. I'm talking to myself out there, okay? It's sort of sad.
Are you getting a positive response?
I am getting positive response. In reality, I am very edifying. Hey, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much. I am doing a great job.
As long as you're not disagreeing with yourself.
That's right. There are very few arguments in this forum. Yes, sir.
We are a large pack, and so our blue and golds typically have 350, 400 people.
Yep.
So finding a place is becoming a challenge for us because the school system, I guess, just put in some new. Last year it cost us $200 for the cafeteria and the auditorium and a janitor. This year the middle school is $600 or $700, and the high schools are $900 to $1,000. Can I suggest that we somehow band together and help each other expose the facilities that we're all finding outside of the school system? The schools are easy to figure out, you know what's in your neighborhood,
Right.
and they're all gonna be the same price now apparently.
Yeah.
But
they've
for
got a
those
couple.
non-school locations that are large enough to house things like this,
Absolutely.
I think it'd be great if we could figure out how to assemble some data like that, because my blue and gold coordinator is, we've got a school, unfortunately the budget's okay, but it just,
Yeah, it just hurts your stomach to have to pay that kind, and we were the same way last year. We're actually going to a local church rather than the school, because the school was charging us 300 and some change, just for a section, and we were already bursting at the seams. So, absolutely, I agree with that. Facebook's a great place for that. Anyone that we have a PAX at goosecreekdistrict.org website, that kind of information is great for that. I mean, don't be afraid to use some of these mailing lists. If you don't want to be the one putting it out there, sending something to me or putting on there, I am happy to pass out information to anybody, because I have no problem at all sending out all kinds of blast emails. I agree. These are the kind of things that we need to start getting resources together of community locations, camping sites and such, because as PAX and scouting has continued to grow, it's harder for units that are over the 50 range to start finding places. I mean, even group camping sites for us now are getting harder and harder, because we're bringing 150 to 200 people to go camp, and camping sites are like, whoa, no. So I agree, absolutely. Next roundtable, it's next year. Crazy talk.
That's a long way.
It's a long way off. In the meanwhile, have a great holiday season. Enjoy a little respite from all the scouting, because I know, it's so easy to get, we're juggling so many balls it is, but you're doing a great thing. You're teaching the boys great skills. And whether you see the rewards right at this moment or not, the seeds have been planted, and these boys have great potential. And we're investing in them every time. Thank you all for coming. If you do me a favor, putting the chairs up, I really would appreciate it. Thanks.